Okay.
All right, guys, really quick, and I know there's only a few of us, but that's why I was going to record this. I would have recorded it even if I was alone. Social media is only as good as we make it. All right. So what did we do over this like last couple of days over the weekend? Share a post, right? Share a goal, all sorts of stuff. What came of that? Nothing. Not not a thing, right? There were a couple of appointments set, but other than that, for the most part, nothing really came of it. Well, I started digging today because I was slammed all day yesterday. I started digging and I was like, well, why? Why did nothing come from that? And I started going back, right? So all of these, right? Taylor, 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 right? All of those came from this. Because when I was going through people's posts, I said, well, this is interesting. She only has 4 comments on her main post, but she has 13 shares. It's like, let's go see what happened, right? So I went and looked at the shares. First of all, Taylor shared her own post, so that's a big no-no. Second, there's one. So that one technically counts though, right? So one, two, three, four, lots of comments, five, six, seven. She shared it again, right? So she shared it and shared it again. So that's seven, but eight. So that means there's 5 other shares that aren't any sort of public whatsoever. So nobody can see it other than people like intermingled within that market, right? So 13 shares, one of them is her own, so who cares? One of them was shared again, again, who cares? So that's really 11, and we can only see 8. So that's 3 more that we can't even see. Who knows? Those could be 3 amazing macho markets that we can't look at, can't tap, can't do anything because it's not possible to see it unless you're a friend of that person, right? But here's what you need to be doing as leaders and trainers, and you have to be inspecting your people's stuff, right? And this is how you have to teach your people to inspect their own stuff, right? So what happened? Let's just go look, right? So her friend Elizabeth shared it. I had to scroll a little bit, tiny bit, right? So this is my sister-in-law. Interesting. Okay, so this is her sister-in-law, but has anyone sat with Taylor and her sister-in-law on a client appointment? No, so that's a problem, number one. Two, if she's willing to make a share 10 days ago, do you think she'd be open to helping? Probably, right? So here's what happened, right? So shared, no comments besides me, and that was 42 minutes ago. Why didn't it get any comments? Because nobody knew about it. Because Taylor didn't even go comment on it. Taylor didn't even heart it. Taylor didn't reach out and say, comment on the post and say, hey, sis, thanks so much. Right? Watch this. Dun, 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 dun. Because Elizabeth didn't so like here's the other thing. If she went and shared the post for her, the thing that Taylor should have done is that, hey, thank you so much for sharing that post. Will you just do me a favor and comment on mine? We're just trying to get in front of some more people. Guys, we got to teach people how to leverage this. So here's another thing I'm going to go do. Where's Miss Powell? Why not? I'm gonna do whatever I want. Who cares, right? I'm gonna add her as a friend. I'm gonna go do it all. That's what it like. This is the kind of stuff that it takes, guys. When you have people that are sharing posts for people, if you're not going in deliberately like a maniac and running down every single one of those shares and going into every single one of those shares and commenting and saving every one of those posts and turning on notifications, you're never going to see it. It's never going to happen. Somebody could have 100 shares. You could have 30 comments sitting out there. You're just never going to know because you never went and looked, right? And so let's go back. Here's the other thing that people need to understand when it comes to shares, right? Let's just go look at a random share. Guys, holler at my girl. Okay, well, let's go look at Bailey's post. If I'm scrolling on Bailey's post and all I see is holler at my girl, it's not really doing me any favors. Not doing me any favors. But watch this. It wasn't public. It wasn't public. Watch this. Turn on make sure you turn on all comments, right? And I went in, I said, I own the financial advisor firm. I said, hey, thanks for sharing. Can you make it public? Then she's commented like 3 minutes later, said, I put it to public. Anyone can share now because it was private. It was just friends, right? Thanked her. And then I asked her if she'd be open to sitting down for some training. Is she going to respond? I don't freaking know, but I also don't care because it's just another comment. But if I'm just looking at her post, right? She looks like a single mom. I mean, she's got kids. That means we should be covering them. So let's see what happens, right? But if you don't ever make that ask, they're never going to know. No, like it's just not going to go anywhere. And so I'm just training. But guys, this is the kind of stuff that you have to be doing. And look, I'm guilty too, right? I'm guilty too. I was busy this weekend. I was redoing a bathroom. Look, one of the girls that's my direct, right? Right here. But here's the difference. I went back and I started going through these. She was not she was putting me in group chats with these people, but she wasn't following the play. She wasn't running the play, right? So look, so she started okay, right? But then she was just not doing it, right? All these people, one, two, three, four, like five in a row. Did she reply to it or did I? I did today because all these people I'm in chats with, but they never saw the group chat, right? She put me in there, I put it in, but then they never saw the group chat. Except, watch this, right? Here's one down here, never even got responded to on me, right? Because I stopped going in and inspecting the post. And so what did I do? Send her a message, right? Will she see it? No clue. But you gotta follow the recipe every single time. And this is what's happening. And now here's a big reason why shares of posts have never really been my favorite, right? Let's just go look at a random one. Like if you're just scrolling on Danny's feed right here, and that's all you see, what do you see? Somebody's face, right? And so this is the problem with sharing of a post is like unless someone's looking for it, you're like it's just not going to happen. And a lot of it depends on the kind of picture that you use because just the way it happened, right? It's down here and like that should be the tagline, but that's what we're missing. Like because that's not up in the top. And so like, hey, it is what it is. I still went in and commented, right? It's still public. So somebody might see it, but the problem was it was 10 days ago. We missed the algorithm window on it, right? We missed it. And so, but don't care. You know why? Because when I go look at Danny's like friends, well, one, she's got kids, she's got a spouse of some sort, right? There's also like judging books by covers. There's some macho people on here. Hey, it's another market, right? The only thing we're doing by not getting into those markets is hurting ourselves. I don't even know who Mr. Clody Claros is, but I got another follower. Cool, whatever, right? And oh, by the way, I went like going back to these posts, right? One of these, just going back in and just like going back to all of the messages, re-engaging all of the messages, right? We are all really good at going back and re-engaging messages that we're already in. What we are like the missing link is generating those new messages in the first place. And a lot of that is not occurring and not happening because we're not following through on the social media side of things. Okay. Now, this is probably like one of the most boring and tedious things that you're ever going to have to do, but this is the training that you have to take people through in terms of following the play, doing it the same way every time, always asking a question. Do people want to do this? No, because it's kind of boring, right? It's kind of boring, right? Do people always reply? No, we were already in like that wasn't a question because we were already in a group chat together. I was just bumping the post, right? It was also another way for me to make sure that I knew when I came back to this that it was already like it had already been responded to, right? So when somebody tags or comments and they put somebody else's name in there, let me see if I can go find one. Here's one. Oh, I guess they didn't do it. Oh, here's another one, right? This is her spouse. Her husband shared the post, but guess what I can't do? And it's public, but I still can't comment. So they either turned commenting off, which is asinine, because they said, hey, if anyone's interested, go comment on my post. Eh, wrong. Randall has a huge market. Huge. Look, 1,400 friends. Missing the boat drastically, right? But guys, that's what most people are missing on the social media side of things. That's also why shares are great, but getting someone to make a new post for you clean on their social media is always going to be the go-to, like number one method for generating actual new activity. A share is great, but you see what happens with a share. The post gets distorted, it doesn't have the same impact. Sometimes all you see is a giant head picture. It loses the oomph of seeing a brand new post on someone's feed that's a friend of yours, right? Sharing is nice, but it's not the end all be all. If you truly want to generate some activity, especially someone who's got a small market beginning off, get them to send that same thing to somebody else, ask for a favor, right? Also, do what I did today with a bunch of those people that have commented, or if somebody has shared a post for somebody, reach out to them, especially if you're already in a conversation. Hey, would you just be open to helping Taylor out get some training? They're already helpers. If they shared the post, they're already helpers. And that means they're already a good friend, most likely, right? So guys, like that, like short, quick, easy, but like that little piece is I promise you it's a bunch of what's missing because like we all tell people to go get 10 or 20 shares, right? Start with 10, shoot for 20 share goal. But then if we don't do anything with it and we don't teach them how to engage it and we don't get tagged and we don't share those, or excuse me, we don't save those to follow up with, what the hell's the point, right? Don't create busy work. Like if you're gonna do it, if you're gonna have them share it, go follow up with it deliberately and go like actually track it down and see what can come from it. Otherwise, don't waste people's time, right? And so like that's what I want you guys to do today. Like go back, go through all of the posts and look through all of the shares, right? Go save those, turn on notifications. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, let me show you. I know you guys probably do, but there's other people that for sure probably don't, right? So this one doesn't really it doesn't really matter because this one's not nothing can happen from this one, right? But let's look at one of these. All right, Elizabeth Powell, right? So click the three dots, save it. I already did. And I turned on notifications, right? So if I didn't have notifications, it would look like that, turn on. Now, if something or somebody comments or whatever, then it will pop up and it will send me a message. Okay. So that's what every time if you get tagged, it should like those should already like automatically be on. But if you weren't tagged and you save a post, make sure you turn on notifications. Otherwise, you're going to be missing it. All right. Any questions, guys? Anything you have been struggling with? Anything that you need or have been curious about? Something's not working or whatever? Anything?
There's a few of Amber's posts that I can't comment on, and I've told her to go fix it or to tell the people to fix it, but she hasn't done it yet. She did message me today. She said she was working in her pre licensing course. It's just taking her a while because she's taking notes